Welcome to the third episode of the Filipino Freethinkers podcast that's also a video. My name is Red.
And I'm Kenneth.
I'm Margie.
And I'm Liz.
Okay, tonight we're going to try something different. Instead of talking about a lot of topics, we're going to focus on just a few, starting with Margie's topic.
All right. The Archbishop of Manila, Cardinal Rosales, stated that Hollywood was behind infidelity, cohabitation, homosexuality, and suggests that we should just go back to the Christian values that the Bible dictates. So I'm guessing that means we can sell our daughters into slavery again and sacrifice our firstborn.
I love that he assumes that we can have just this one target, popular culture, and that this is responsible for all the myriad evils in the world, and that everybody is a unthinking child who will see all of these forms of media and then follow them mindlessly, like what I suppose he hopes his own flock would do with his teachings.
And we have to be careful about what we mean by going back to Christian values, because if people actually read the Bible, they're going to see the kinds of values that are really in there. Like you said, they're selling daughters into slavery, and there's killing all of your enemies or those who don't believe the way you do. And the church really has no authority when it comes to morality. They're like originally they were for slavery. They were against religious freedom. The Inquisition went on for like 1300 years. Slavery went on for like almost 1900 years under Catholic teaching.
All of human history up until about the 1860s. Although arguably still going on today.
Yeah,
and it's so easy to point at Hollywood. I remember they like pointing at quote-unquote Western culture. They like blaming, like for instance with the Santa Claus thing and Christmas. They said, or even Halloween. They were
Harry Potter.
Yeah, and Harry Potter. They were always blaming, because that's Western, that's not Filipino. And I'm thinking they're also going to give the same excuse. We're becoming evil because we're following Western ways. Catholicism is a Western religion.
What I don't get in the end is what was the reason for homosexuality and all that supposedly bad stuff before Hollywood and before Hollywood became what it is, before Western culture became what it is, right? So there were homos even before
ancient Greece.
So I guess we should move on to your topic.
Okay, and my topic is about the Responsible Parenthood Bill. So instead of passing the RH bill, Benigno Aquino, or Noy Noy, ordered instead his... Oh, I'm sorry, there's the camera. He ordered instead his advisors or his what do you call them? His cabinet members to draft a bill, supposedly a watered-down bill, called the Responsible Parenthood Bill, because after speaking with the CBCP, they were thinking that, we want to please them for some reason. And then now you have this bill where it really just talks about information drive. So you don't have any of those provisions in RH bill that talk about sex education or even, providing medical, proper training for midwives and not just for, medical professionals in the hospital. So what do we really think about this Responsible Parenthood Bill? Is it like one step closer to our goal of, reproductive rights for women and the family?
Well, I think that there's a danger of falling into the middle ground fallacy where people think like if there's two opposing positions, the middle moderate position is the right one. Well, it's not always the case. And what kind of middle can you have when there's the RH bill on one hand and the Responsible Parent Bill on the other hand? And that's the problem. Like if we use responsible parenthood, like right off the bat, it's biased towards Catholicism. The term responsible parenthood was the title of this speech, I think, translated speech by one of the popes, Pope John Paul, I think.
Yes, one of his encyclicals.
Yeah, and he's citing Humanae Vitae, Gaudium et Spes, and we know that in these encyclicals, the Catholic Church is strong on its stance that contraceptives should not be used.
Yeah.
So if you use responsible parenthood,
Yeah, and if I may interrupt, specifically, what they want to do is just really to spread information, which is actually a toothless policy. And their main goal is really to put up a lot of information centers that talk or that inform people about natural family planning. It doesn't really focus on contraceptives. It's just like, okay, there are condoms, but this is what we want to focus on.
I love that. Again, there's this assumption that there is still a large debate that needs to be going on, that there's still so many things that we need to talk about, when this debate has been going on for the better part of a decade. It seems that these people are only paying attention now, and they're only coming in like, hey, what about this argument? What about this argument? Not realizing that these are all points that have been tackled years ago, ironed out, and now we have the RH bill as it is trying to be passed, for example, by Representative Lagman. These are the ones that incorporate all of these arguments already. It's ignorance of the highest order to think that anything else, there's still room for compromise on this. We're done. The discussion should be done. The women are dying. It needs to be passed immediately.
I agree. There's nothing new that the pro-life, or rather anti-choice side, is adding to the discussion. I mean, responsible parenthood might as well have been called the Humanae Vitae bill, because that's still the same argument that they're spouting.
Yeah, I remember I attended the Faces of the RH Bill forum last Monday, I think it was. And I remember that one of the speakers, Renalyn Tan of the World Youth Alliance, stated that they wanted to change the RH Bill in such a way that the penalties for not going along with recommending contraceptives be taken out because it's against human rights or something like that. So when I heard about the Responsible Parenthood bill, I thought like, oh no, the people who are for that change will probably like go along with this RP bill without really thinking strongly about it.
Exactly. I'm not so sure whether Edsel Lagman was really serious, but he did give a positive remark, or he praised the Responsible Parenthood bill. And we really have to get it across people who have been fighting for the RH bill that they have to think about the Responsible Parenthood bill, because if they pass that and then they try to pass an even stronger stance, which is the RH bill, maybe some people are just going to say, you know what, that bill is redundant. We're not going to pass it anymore because we already have the Responsible Parenthood bill.
It would be the greatest tragedy if after all of these years of struggle and hardship, we end up, we're so close right now. We're closer than we've ever been. And then on the last minute, they pull a bait and switch on us.
Yeah,
we just need to be very, very careful.
And what's tragic is there are other parts in the RH bill that are equally important, like sex education in public schools. Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Okay, so I suppose that's the wrap-up of Responsible Parenthood bill.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to write about that on the website this week. But there's not much information on the Responsible Parenthood bill yet. So we're going to keep tuned to the Twitter account, to the Facebook account, to our website. But now we're moving to our main topic, and it's the bishops from the Episcopalian Church converting to the Catholic Church.
Right. The backstory here is a couple of years ago, the current Pope, Benedict, set up what he called a special ordinariate. This is a mechanism by which priests, specifically in this case Episcopalian/Anglican priests, it's the same thing, who are dissatisfied with the main church's current stance on ordaining women as priests, on ordaining women as bishops, and ordaining women and ordaining gay bishops. All of the people who are dissatisfied with this now have an avenue to go to, and of course he's dressed this up in the manner of reconciliation with the Greater Mother Church, of the Old Catholic Church. Through this, you can, if you're an Episcopalian and you don't like that there are women who are becoming priests and bishops, or gay people who are becoming priests and bishops, then you can reconvert, or you can convert to Catholicism. Now, that was back in 2009. Now, very recently in January, 3 Anglican bishops had actually gone forward and said that we want to avail of this special ordinariate. Because they are married, they are not allowed to retain their bishopness, their bishop rank.
Position.
Yeah, so they're actually busted back down to priests, but they say they're happy with that.
Actually, they already announced that they're availing of the program last November.
Okay, yes.
And they've been in training in Catholic.
Right. They've just to get the doctrine back down.
Yeah.
But then again, there's a lot of special arrangements that the Catholic Church has made. Most of the services, for example, will still follow the old high church model, Episcopalian traditions, and of course they can stay married. But it's been a very civil discussion so far. Our own Archbishop Rowan has said, the Archbishop of Canterbury has said, like, well, this is on their spiritual journey. Good luck to them. And then the bishops who are leaving have said, okay, well, it's not like we're really angry with the Episcopal Church. We just don't like women being priests.
And also, they don't like the blessing of same-sex
and we don't like the blessing of same-sex unions as well. So they're anti-gay, anti-women stance.
What I find strange is the Catholic Church is allowing these three guys to still remain married. Isn't that really contradictory to...
Yes and no, because the whole provision against marriage for Catholics was kind of tacked on later. And when it was brought in, many priests who were married at the time were allowed to live out their natural lives.
And if I'm not mistaken, there are certain parishes where they allow married priests.
Yes.
Even in the Catholic parishes, in the eastern parts, I think, eastern churches.
The old Catholic, Utrecht.
But they're still under the Pope's power, I think.
What amuses me is how, it's called the Mother Church, but they somehow mobilize the whole story of the prodigal son because they make it seem as if, you've been on the wrong path, quote, parenthesis, Episcopalian Church, because they like gays and women priests. So come back to us and we will rehabilitate you. We will still accept you no matter how sinful your life was or how sinful your other religion is. And apart from being, obviously it's just outright hypocritical. And another thing,
condescending.
Condescending. And it's the church again claiming that they have the monopoly of morality. Again, it's the never-ending problem with the Catholic Church claiming that they only know what's right for people. And that's something that that's always bothered me with the Catholic Church. And on the other hand, I see it as a double-edged sword. So it's like, at least you're getting rid of the Episcopalians who do not want to be Episcopalians in the first place. I mean, it's like in the same way that Catholics don't like it that they have priests who molest, altar boys, which is... So in the same light, you don't want people in your group to be giving you a bad name. But at the same time, it just makes you feel bad that the Catholic Church even has such a project.
As an Episcopalian, I can say that there are a lot of older members of the parishes, people who they're frankly just not comfortable with the new stance being taken, in particular by Archbishop Shorey, the Archbishop in charge of the American Episcopalian Diocese. They feel that the liberals in the Episcopal Church have been moving a bit too fast. They've been going forward without the tradition of consensus and democratic consultation, which the Episcopal Church is supposed to be known for. Since we don't answer to the Pope, it's kind of an assembly. And they feel that the synod, the last gathering of our archbishops, they kind of just bulled on through with their liberal agenda without taking into consideration the honest feelings of many people in their congregations. It's feeling it's either too fast or they have not been consulted. That being said, I'm just really dismayed that they're coming out, if you will. These bishops are saying, like, you know what? No, I'm not okay with the gay guys. And I hate the women.
I have a question, though.
It's so discouraging.
I mean, the whole notion of consensus is also questionable. Are you talking about the consensus of the leaders or consensus of the believers? Because sometimes those are two completely different things.
For our church, it's supposed to be on both levels, because the priests are supposed to lead on with policy by an elected body of people from the congregation, which is called the vestry.
So it's not just in theory, but it's also practiced.
Yeah, which is why you get a lot of congregations with slightly differing beliefs.
Okay.
How did the Filipino Episcopalian?
The current stance is the individual we do not judge. Honestly, there's a lot of older bishops, bless their hearts, who are still kind of iffy about blessing an actual same-sex union. Obviously, I feel differently. But when it comes to a practicing homosexual, then there is no problem with that. Like, come to our church, worship with us. We will not judge you, and we will definitely not ever make you feel like some kind of trumped-up sense of guilt for who you are.
Well, speaking about marriage, because of this move by the Catholic Church, there's now a loophole where if you want to be a married Catholic priest, you could.
That's right.
In 3 easy steps.
How?
Just get into the Episcopalian Church, marry, and then convert into Catholicism.
You know what? I hate homosexuals, so yeah, parang ganun.
How?
Yeah, like they'll get married and then, you know what? I don't like homosexuals. Let's move to the Catholic Church.
But still, it's actually the case where you could be a Catholic married priest.
So no longer is the Catholic priesthood only open towards men who really like women but never ever want to touch them.
Okay.
Not only women though, like.
Well, no, because they don't like the gay priests either.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So. Well, it's interesting that the Episcopalian Church started from a desire to marry. Right?
Yes, among other things. Well,
among other things, yeah. And now it's being used, it could be used as a loophole
to get back. Well, that's, you've heard it here. If you would like to become married
as a Catholic priest. Maybe the Episcopalians can bring down the Catholic Church by converting.
No, we don't.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, so I guess...
Considered impolite.
Yeah, so I guess we learned a lot about the new program by the Catholic Church. We learned a lot about Hollywood being a source of sin, and of course about the Responsible Parenthood Bill. And we're gonna hear about that more this week. We're gonna write about that. So stay tuned for our next podcast. That's also a video. And thank you very much.